Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Jake, who's come from all over the country because he's been in festivals, but originally from Chicago. So thank you for being here, Jake, with his great movie, Kombucha. Let's take a little clip.
You're the only person in the office that doesn't drink it, and it shows.
No. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh.
Yes! You'll get used to it.
Jake, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family. Lovely to have you here. I've got so many questions about kombucha, but for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
So Kombucha follows Luke, who's stuck in a job that he really does not enjoy, but he's not really hitting his key performance indicators, and he doesn't have that secret juice, the corporate kombucha that everybody else at the office is drinking, and everybody at work's pressuring him to take in the kombucha, and he finally does. He tries the kombucha, and he nails the pitch deck, but then he suffers some pretty horrible side effects, and that's
Horrible.
yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, and this is, Jake, this is a brilliant idea. Like, I was like, again, it's so wonderful to see something like, this is amazing. Where did the idea come for you and the inspiration and then turning that into a film?
So Jeff Backen came to me with a couple of different ideas, and they were feature-length ideas, and I saw kombucha and I thought, this one is going to resonate with people. This idea of doing things for money that make us feel a little bit sick, and I feel like a lot of creative people especially are stuck doing things in their day jobs or their day-to-day lives that don't align with what they thought their life would be or what they wanted out of life, and then you just have to get through the day because that's how our society is structured. And once he drinks the kombucha, I feel like that's the moment, and it's something that I feel like everybody does to some degree. So yeah, we both worked together and then made a 7-minute version of it and shot it, and now we're gonna go back and hopefully make a feature-length version of it this summer.
We need the feature, Jake. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
I was like, this is a brilliant idea. I just want to see more. Firstly, like this, I mean, I love production designs, the way that you designed it. It was so good. It was so well shot. It was great to see on camera. Tell us about how you wanted to kind of shoot it, because it really was structured really well, but it also really was powerful to watch, especially on a big screen.
Thank you so much. Yeah, all of the weird paintings in the background were something that I just worked with Midjourney and designed all of those paintings ahead of time. Yeah, because I just wanted this like immersive office world that looks expensive and cool, but there's like kind of a weird visceral red darkness that just like, punches up the scene. And then I worked with my DP, Matt Brown, pretty extensively in pre-production to talk about like what sort of look we would do. And also we knew that we only had 1 day to film the whole thing. So I said, we're gonna need meat and potatoes, but I still want a little bit of like style around the edges until the really gross scene. And then we're gonna go handheld. And he had a plan, he had written it all out exactly that way. Like we even narrowed it down to the number of shots that we needed, and I said, I got it down to 36, and he said, same. And it was a really great moment where we're both just on the same page in terms of what sort of shots we need, how can we visually communicate it in a way that's like efficient, but also something that really communicates the story.
Kombucha, for example, is you're in a city that is obsessed with kombucha, and it's really spread obviously nationally and internationally as well, as has the drinks market essentially. What was it about like this particular drink, and especially how we're moving in society in these kind of like high-end offices, you know, being part of something that we don't really know that is actually even good for us, but it's got good marketing. Like, what was the kind of, where did it come for you in terms of like creating this particular story, and then how you wanted to orchestrate that as a director?
Well, it was something that Jeff talked about a lot. He has never had kombucha in his life.
Oh, really?
He's never tried it. And I'm one of those people who's like, well, I need to do the healthy thing, and everybody's telling me it's the healthy thing. So yeah, I'll get kombucha.
Yeah.
But I think coffee is the thing that ran the corporate world from like 2000 and before. And I feel like now, like, what is the new coffee thing? And I wanted to talk about the new corporate culture. Like, I imagine this as like an update, like David Cronenberg's contemporary Office Space was the pitch that I kind of got everybody to rally around. And yeah, I wanted to, because I feel like kombucha is like the contemporary healthy drink, right? Or maybe we talked about this, but mushroom drinks now might replace kombucha.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. It's already doing that with coffee as well. No, I think it's fascinating because I'm like, I must have kombucha for my gut, and apparently it says it's good for my gut, and I like the name of the branded of this. But no, the story was really orchestrated really well. I love the actors that were put together as well. How did you work with your actors? Because they were great.
The actors were amazing. I went to Second City. So Second City in Chicago just has a really long history of wonderful performers. And I really like comedic actors in horror situations because they can punch up the jokes when they need to, but they also, they harness fear, and they harness like this thing that's very visceral and like the physicality that you sometimes need to pull off a scare. I feel like comedic actors can pull it off best. So I tend to only cast comedic actors. But they were so wonderful. And we worked pretty extensively before we shot, like did a lot of rehearsals over Zoom to try to like find the characters, find the beats, see where we could improv a little bit. And yeah, I just love having a team that can rally around a really weird idea like this.
Yeah, and as I was saying to you earlier, like there's a lot of people at our festival who are just, you know, really fascinated by your film, really, really enjoyed it, really stuck in their minds. You've literally just come out of the festival from New Orleans, and then you've come here. What's the reaction been like for you at the film festivals?
I've been really pleasantly surprised by how strong the jokes land. I did not think that the jokes would land as strong as they did. And I've been also really pleasantly surprised by how into the most disgusting scenes people are. People really responded to Poopy Scoby, which if you haven't seen the short film yet, that will be the thing that I think sears into people's memories.
Yes, it won't leave your mind, trust me.
Right. And just knowing that is really encouraging, and it makes me feel more confident going into a feature of how to shape it and what things to include and what things to push. And I don't think it's a bad idea to push it even grosser in some parts.
I mean, I think the audience were ready for it, honestly.
They were.
You know, and even just the mundaneness of when everyone was just drinking a kombucha and at their laptops, and I was like, oh, this is awful, this is draining, I don't like this. Like the horror in that, and you had really good, like you said, really good comedic actors that could do comedic horror acting as well, which I thought was really hit well. So with that being said, very exciting, because after 7 minutes, I still wanted more, and so there's plans to make the feature, is that right?
That's correct.
That's amazing. You excited?
I'm so excited. The new script is so good, and it's got these moments that are just grotesque and they'll sear into your brain. And I think just having a couple of those moments is what can define a horror movie. And it also just has this through line of people being afraid of being replaced. And I feel like in addition to the overarching joke of people doing things that make them feel ill for money, like getting into that deep-seated fear that comes with mass layoffs in tech, mass layoffs in entertainment. And I think it's something that, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to relate to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're very excited that the feature is coming as well. And just lastly, on last question, because, you know, again, when you're making something that is kind of proof of concept for a feature, any advice for anyone out there when you're kind of building something together?
One thing that you should do while you're trying to make a proof of concept is don't try to jam everything from the feature into the proof of concept. I think you need to streamline it so there's one core thing that people can take away, like one core point of conflict or tension. Because I think features, you need to have multiple things set up to keep the audience interested. But I think it can get really muddled. And some of the proof of concepts that I've seen are like too many things and then having to resolve them at the end. It's just tough.
Yeah, that's a really important advice, actually, for sure. Well, I'm ready for Kombucha the feature. I'm so ready for it. So, but thank you so much for bringing your film to us at New Filmmakers LA. Welcome to the family, and we're looking forward to the feature version.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful. New Filmmakers is great, and I really appreciate everything.
Thank you very much, Jake. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much.